What are your thoughts on the representation of women in film and video games?
Do you want me to start?
Yeah.
Is this one of those questions? So my thought on the representation of women in video games, I think it's getting better. Because obviously we've had years and years of female characters being very busty, wearing next to no clothes. It's been like a constant thing in like fighting games and like RPGs and stuff where like the female versions of armor and stuff like that have been like scantily clad and stuff like. But I think it's definitely getting better because there's more women in the industry now. There's more women working in game development. They're making more female characters now. Like a lot more games don't just start with a male character. You have a choice between either male or female, which is great. Resident Evil being one of them. I think Skyrim was the first game that I played like that I got to choose to be a female, and I absolutely loved it. It wasn't the first game that was like that, but it was the first game that I played where I got to choose to play a massive full game as a female character rather than it just being like Mortal Kombat or something. So yeah, there's a lot of improvement in video games.
Well, usually in films, the representation of women is that their goal is they're achieving something to do with a man or something to do with a relationship. So there are very few films where the goal is about them, about themselves, not about anyone else, or talking about a relationship or family.
Yeah, even if it's presented as being that, there's often like a relationship in like somewhere in there, like it has to be put in there, but you know, it just doesn't matter, like it's not something we think about, you know.
My thoughts on the representation of women in film and video games. I think we're very much in a time now where everybody is equal, or we're striving for everybody to be equal, and I think that's really the main focus rather than focusing on just women. I think we need to focus on everybody as just everybody rather than men and women. It's just everybody all together as equals.
I think there's obviously a massive problem with women at the moment, especially in media, where not enough women are filling the roles. So there's not enough women directors, for example, and I think there's been a real push for that, which is really good in the industry. I think in regards to video games, though, there's still that sexualization of women, which I don't think is necessary. But that's also the same in films. They do link very closely together. So it would be nice to see in the future that sexualization to be brought down in both senses.
I think women in the industry, it's like something that lacks. There's like not many women in HOD roles in industry, and I think it's a big thing at the moment with like getting female directors, female producers, not taking those roles, but like taking up those roles in industry, because a lot of big companies, like production companies and even the BBC and stuff, are starting to diverse their staff, and I think it's important.
As for film, again, I think there's been, over the past couple of years, there's been a massive switch in the types of characters that women have been getting. So it's not always just the love interest, or the character is, you know, the whole aim of the film is for the female character to fall in love with someone. Like, that was one thing that I loved about this film, the fact that Ivy doesn't have a boyfriend. There's no reference to it. She might do, we don't know. And there's no love interest or anything. That's not the goal with this film, and that was one of the things that sort of drew me towards this character. But yeah, being able to work with a crew as well that was pretty much 50-50, I think. I didn't really notice, to be honest, but yeah, there's been a massive switch. Like, obviously, within the filming industry, I've not noticed anything that's like behind the scenes, because this is my first real experience of that. So it'd be interesting to see how that progresses over time now. But yeah, for storylines and stuff, it's definitely changed.
I think Zero's Lives Left was a great film for female representation, as there's a lot of strong female characters in the film. There's also a lot of strong male characters in the film as well, which is great. Like I said, I think there shouldn't be one more than the other. It should just be all. Everybody should be represented as an equal, rather than one gender over another. But the female characters in the film are definitely strong, but as are the male ones.
I thought the film Zero Lives Left was really good for female representation, because it showed this really strong female character in Ivy, and it showed that, females can be strong as well. And also that she's a gamer, and you don't really get to see that very much in films now.
And with Ivy, it's all about her goal and like her wanting to achieve something for herself, not for anyone else.
Yeah, and she does it herself, and she does it really well, and that's so great that she doesn't need those other people. She makes it. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
it's nice to see that. It's refreshing.
Mm.
I think there was quite a lot of female crew on Zero Lives Left. You had a female DOP, female producer. Who else? There was quite a few female HUDs. And then in the cast, we had the main character was female, so I think that was good.
With the character of Sister Mayhem, she's like the evil character. But what you see with evil female characters in so many films and video games and stuff, their motive is usually it's usually male oriented, and it's not something that I noticed until someone pointed it out to me. But it's usually some underlying anger from like a relationship, or like men that have hurt them. Mm-hmm. But Sister Mayhem's, it's nice because she's just an evil character. Like, it's just like the way she's programmed, And it's such like a small thing, but it's just, yeah, I don't know, it's good to have that, because you see that with male characters a lot, like these mysterious, like evil figures, but with women they're always related to men, whether it's like a good character or a bad. So, yeah.
Girl power.
Girl power.